Hi, and welcome to exercise application video number 26, I believe. I just got home from going on another little walk. I've been liking to go on walks over the break. And I want to talk a little bit more about endurance training, and specifically something I talked about in my last video, which is AMPKinase, but I want to talk about how it interacts with another genetic factor being MTOR. So, like I said, AMPKinase is what's responsible kind of at the cellular level for all of our endurance training adaptations. So when we talk about the increased capillary density, which allows mitochondrial biogenesis, which then those two things allow increased fat oxidation, these things we get from endurance. But something that I think is very trendy right now, and something that honestly I did until we talked about it like last week, is when you go to the gym and you lift weights, and one of my goals is typically at least a little bit of hypertrophy and strength. It's not muscular endurance. So when you think about muscular adaptations, and I know I haven't talked much about that yet, which I'm about to start talking about in my next couple videos, but the primary thing that's doing that at the cellular level is called MTOR, which that is what drives our adaptations to endurance exercise. So when we see greater force contraction, greater force production ability, things like that, we are talking about MTOR. And MTOR in trained individuals is active for about 12 hours after we work out. And so if I were to go work out at 8 a.m. this morning, I would have that MTOR working until about 8 p.m. And that would be synthesizing muscle tissue, aiding in recovery. And so, but what we do though, and I think a lot of it is because it's very popular on social media right now, is we go to the gym, we lift our weights, and then we do our incline walks, we do our sprints. And what actually happens is our AMPKinase, which we activate during endurance training, blocks our MTOR. So we are not getting as many results from our strength training. And the reason this happens is AMPKinase, it serves as a low energy sensor in the body, right? It's being alerted that, hey, you don't have enough energy, let's do something about that. And MTOR is saying, hey, let's add mass to the body, let's add strength, all of these things. And your body is not going to focus on recovery and muscle growth if our primary need is sustaining ourselves, which is energy production. And so we actually divert that energy that's going to recovery and muscle growth, and we bring it back to actually functioning and producing energy, which we need during endurance training, right? Because we're not so much working on hypertrophy with endurance training. So what's the solution to this? Split up your exercises, right? And so that's why when I went and walked today, well, backtracking a little bit, the alternative is you could do cardio before lifting weights, because AMPKinase isn't the same in that you have 12 hours of these adaptations like MTOR with muscular hypertrophy and growth, which is the same thing. I don't know why I just said that, but let's say you go and you exert yourself in sprinting or going on a long jog even before you lift weights, you're going to be tired. And so then you're not going to be able to lift as much for as many reps, therefore you're not getting as many of the hypertrophy benefits as you could. So it's kind of impossible to, in a short period of time, maximize both of those things. So the 12-hour period, you could separate those by 12 hours. You could wake up really early, go for a run at 5, lift your weights at 5 p.m. Now, if you are not a professional athlete, am I saying it's impossible to build muscle if you lift weights afterwards? Not at all. And your everyday goals look different than, everyone's goals looks different. So I'm not saying at all it's a bad thing. Movement is good. Movement is medicine. But it is good to keep in mind, if someone who stumbles upon this video is a professional athlete, to keep in mind the timing of your exercises because of things at the cellular level. So, thank you.